Hello, this is Christian Banak, and I am here with Richard April. He is the Chief Marketing Officer at Arcesium, which is an advanced data operations and analytics platform that is used by some of the world's most sophisticated financial institutions. Prior to Arcesium, Richard served in marketing roles at software and tech companies like Onshape, Rave Mobile Safety, and Repsly.
And I was lucky enough to be at a bunch of companies that were both on the purchasing side and the being purchased side on acquisitions. And those were fabulous learning experiences. And the biggest takeaway for me was how interesting it was to build or rapidly grow. It's an underestimated part of this role is managing emerging talent, managing senior talent, managing talent at all levels, identifying good talent, because there's lots of tools, but it's really about your team and who you put in place and choosing the right people for the right roles, the right companies with the right skill sets and sometimes experience. So Arcesium is it's a global financial technology company, and they deliver pre and post investment and enterprise data management solutions for very sophisticated financial institutions, primarily in the hedge fund, bank, institutional asset management, and private equity space. We've developed a cloud-based, cloud-native solution that helps just build, it systematizes the complex workflows and helps clients achieve the scale they want. So it's quite a sophisticated solution. We've got some very impressive customers and investors. D.E. Shaw, it's a spin-off of D.E. Shaw, but Blackstone and JP Morgan are also stakeholders and customers. We're going to take an ABX, account-based experience approach, because we have larger enterprise customers and we know who they are, and we feel like that very targeted approach across all facets of the company, not only marketing, but marketing, sales, and customer success, is going to be the best route to market. I generally like to let the team try and choose their own KPIs, because I feel like they buy into them more. It requires adjustment with folks earlier in their career, but generally I found that works really well, is to let them lead and you coach them through it. I feel they achieve them and buy into it a lot more.
Yeah, I really love that. That's a great point. I'm going to make note of that myself about letting the team, be involved in the creation of those KPIs. So that's a really great insight there.
It's very tempting to dive into tactical things to solve immediate problems, but those tactical things could be a huge distraction from your greater strategic goals. So finding that balance of not getting sucked into something that you really know you just shouldn't do right now, and being patient and asking for patience with the team, saying, we're going to get you where you need to be, but that's a path that's not going to take us there, so just be patient. And it's not only sometimes you're expressing that to your key constituents, it's sometimes to yourself.
Do you have any current agency partners now that the Arcesium is working with, or is this something that you're just looking to build upon as you build a team?
There's just some skill sets that I feel like are better suited for an agency, where it's harder to find folks who have that skill set, and you could just benefit more from an agency. I like to work with an agency that can, let's say you're doing some projects with, but they have other skills that you can rely on as well. So if you have an overflow, you're doing a massive customer event, you're doing something that's out of the ordinary from a scope perspective, you can lean on them to help you out. So I do enjoy relationships like that. And then there's also the technical partnerships on the MarTech side to make sure, I feel like that you need a mix of internal staff who could help on the day-to-day, but then there's major builds that, redoing your website, or there's certain things that just, I think, make more sense to have a partner to work with, because to staff up to do that would be too much. Marketing is a service organization for the sales team. If the sales team's not successful, marketing can't be successful. So that is something as I said earlier, I was, early in my career, spent time in sales. I appreciate how difficult it is and what it takes to be successful. So having that strong relationship is something that's always benefited every job I've ever had. One thing that took me a long time to figure out was that marketing needs to market what they're doing. They need to explain it and let everyone know. I used to be of the mind that, let the results speak for themselves. Well, not everyone's reading everything or following what you're doing, so you really need to make sure that you're communicating it and presenting it.
How are you looking at, your tool set and building that out? How are you, evaluating, selecting new tools? How do you strike the balance between kind of the new shiny object that's out there and what you currently have and what you really need?
I've spent a lot of time evaluating MarTech tools over the years. So it really gave me a great insight into the power of the tools, but also into the trap of putting too many tools in place and not having them well integrated and everything working together. So for me, one of the key pieces is that every piece you choose, how well it integrates, so that you're leveraging every piece of that technology's feature set, avoiding redundant feature sets where you have to choose between the two, and starting out minimalistically. So not buying everything you think you're going to need up front and then having shelfware, buying it as you're going to actually use it and deploy it, so that you're really seeing the immediate benefit of it and not overwhelming your team.
How do you stay on top of industry trends and news? Are you active on social? Are you, reading certain trade publications, going to certain events? Like, how do you stay abreast of all this?
I actually try not to be consistent in what I look at, because you end up getting like the same opinion over and over again. So I try to mix it up, randomly reading books on different topics and different publications, and try to be intentionally inconsistent in what I'm reading to get that mixed view.